that better or no?
Hi, everybody. Let's get me on the Facebook page so I can see where we're all out, what we're all doing. Da, da, da. Oh, we had a really good comment underneath one of the videos today. I just want to read it, I think, just to start it. I'm talking about how the spiritual truths didn't seem like they could be real. And that's true. And the last time that I said it, a long time ago, I didn't believe they could be real. And then I started unloading the emotional baggage and stress and realized it was literally the truth. Find that I not only agree that's how I'm feeling about those things, but I'm also having a hard time believing that I can feel as good and healthy as you gals do. You seem so balanced that it's hard to picture you ever having a dark night of the soul. I'm havening about it, and maybe I'll be more accepting of the idea that that could be my story too. So I think that's a great way for us to kind of start, thinking about how, here we go. Okay, let me delete that one. Thinking about how, we've been through our own reclaiming of ourselves and having to find our way when everyone is telling us that we're crazy or we're wrong or that what we feel doesn't matter. It almost feels like it's, if it wasn't a conspiracy, then we must be just evolving, and every generation we evolve a little bit more out of those old ideas and beliefs, of what women are like, what men are like, the roles that we've always been playing. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So what do you think about dark nights of the soul?
Me?
Yeah, you. It's just you and me.
Right.
You look great today, by the way.
Oh,
Kimberly looks great. And so I just jumped into this thing with the thing of like dark nights of the soul and how, were we ever screwed up?
Oh, definitely. I've had many dark nights on my soul. And I think, it's always easy to look at somebody else and think that they don't have some of those experiences, or I aspire to be like them. I mean, Rita, you're definitely a testament to that. You're someone that I look up to. And I know from over the years now that you also have your own moments and your own moments of growth, and that we all do. And using those tools makes it easier each time when those dark moments come. And to be able to use those tools to help with positive affirmations, how to reframe things, how to turn it. And then there's a difference between a dark moment, a dark night, and a dark month, or a dark week, or a dark
couple decades.
Yeah.
I felt like the first 40 years of my life were under a shadow, under a dark cloud. How long did it take you until you kind of hit a tipping point?
I think I was scaling those tipping points. And then probably about 6 years ago, my divorce was a big trigger for me, where it was a really dark period. And that led to really scaling almost like a sheer cliff, barefoot and blindfolded and over glass. And then bringing myself, meeting people by being open. It was amazing to where the people, how they started to come. And it was just one sentence saying, I want something different, or I can have something different. Or I looked at somebody else and said, I want to be that person. I like their energy. I like what they're feeling. I like what they're projecting. I like what they're manifesting. Maybe I can do that too. And going through those steps to make peace with my own demons, with my own shadows, wherever those came from. And I think then once you start to have that foundation, you get, like that root chakra down there really firm, that there are dark experiences that we go through, that life throws us off course. But when
things are going to hurt no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the spiritual path, I really, a lot of the spirituality, I think, in the past was patriarchal and male dominated, and was all about what men needed, and didn't, wasn't sensitive to women's spiritual needs. That's, I feel very strongly about that, actually. And what we're discovering is we're going to be taken by surprise by things we didn't realize we were still grieving for. And death is still going to happen. And we're still going to lose our parents. We're still going to lose people who we love. The hard things are going to happen, which will be hard to go through. There is no doubt about it. And so we can't bypass it. We just have to learn how to ride the wave as best as possible, I think, and get the richness we can without, kind of enjoy looking over the edge into the abyss without actually having to jump into it.
And honoring that darkness, because it is a balance, because we can't have that light without some of that opposite as well. But it's how we adjust our narrative from that darkness and how we can use that. It's how we react to that. And when you have those tools in your toolkit, that they can sustain you through some of the darkness. I had lost a significant other at about halfway through my journey, where I found again who I was, and there was nothing but raw grief. There was no avoiding the hurt and the pain that came from losing someone so suddenly. But I kept using, for me, I use yoga, I use exercise, I use nature and hiking. That sustained me, and to help, it carried me when I could barely carry myself. And the relationships that I had cultivated with friends and family, and the family that I created or chose, that are not blood, that helps to carry me during that. And to be able to know that there are times we're going to have to lean on somebody during those moments, and to know that there is that love and that support out there that you can do. And then when you are back in a better place, then it's your turn to be the one who's going to carry somebody during those times.
Right. And I love that it used to feel like in my life that I was just standing there waiting for a hurricane to come and knock me down, and I had no control over it. And I was going to be screwed, and there was nothing I could do about it. And I had to just figure out how to batten down the hatches. And what I realized is, yeah, the hurricane may still come, but this time I'm seeing it coming. I'm preparing for it. I'm making good decisions. I'm getting my resources in place. I get my family in place. And then when the hurricane comes, I can marvel from a place of relative safety at how amazing a hurricane is, and how, a force of nature that changes paths, it's great. The hurricanes are still going to come, but we can get to a point where we feel level and balanced enough and far enough ahead of the 8 ball, be able to look and see and feel a little bit further in front of us instead of constantly feeling like we're blindsided. And that's when stuff starts getting easier, because then instead of something coming out of the blue and surprising you and triggering all of that rage, you're cleaning it up piece by piece by piece. So when the hurricane comes, you're not angry at it, because you're able to marvel and really enjoy it.
I agree. And how that hurricane can change the landscape of your life, and to bring you such beauty and joy that you could never even have imagined before. And some of those experiences, how they can shape you or stay with you for an eternity, and to lead you places that you never imagined that they would lead you to.
Right. When we start opening ourselves to, what you like to talk about, which is the warrior spirit, when we start opening ourselves to the idea that we can enjoy, and we're the same as a hurricane, and that we are part of all of that energy, we're a volcano, we're the hurricane, we're the tectonic plates. There is no separation from all of this. So we have to be able to let this energy kind of come through us, and we have to be resilient and strong enough to be able to deal with what life brings us and brings the world, and still be able to bend with it without breaking ourselves.
And to always try to maintain the positive, I think, too. is a critical piece, and adjusting some of the stories that we keep telling ourselves that become our truth, but we can always rewrite our truth. It was like you mentioned before, like there's always going to be a hurricane. Well, maybe we need to just wake up and say, there's a sun today. There's going to be sunshine today. Maybe it's not. And if it's a cloudy day, there will be sun again. And how instead of always saying, well, you know what, something always happens. Something, it's typical. Like, and it's always kind of, because then you are setting yourself up to believe that the worst is always going to happen. Or so instead trying to start becoming, that's been something where I start my morning every day with some quiet meditation, just some breathing, bringing my in, and I start with saying 3 things I'm grateful for. And when I first started that, I couldn't even tell you 3 things I was thankful for. And then it was like, or I could be like, okay, my health and my kids. And they're like, oh, come on, that's ridiculous. That's such a given. But it isn't a given. Our health truly is a gift. And I believe. And if I have that, I can do anything else. I can manage.
Well, and that's true, you know, but I used to, and I used to think that health was, that I could be mentally unhealthy, I could be emotionally unhealthy, but physically my body, you know, wasn't going through some big devastating illness. And I didn't realize that if I'm healthy, it means that my brain's working with my heart, working with my gut. It means that I'm nourishing myself and everything keeps growing and innovating and becoming, you know, a more refined version of me. So if I'm healthy, it doesn't, you know, just mean that I'm exercising and eating more vegetables. It means that I have the capacity to evolve into something I never even imagined that's beautiful and genius and fabulous. And no matter what it is, if I want it, I can shape myself and shape my life to go in that direction. You know, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but I can create a life that I love, that brings me peace. And for me, the warrior spirit is when you respect yourself enough that you respect your dreams, you respect your hopes, you respect your emotional and mental health, you respect yourself. You have to be a warrior for that, because in this kind of world we're in, a lot of people are screwed up and dysregulated. And so you can't rely on someone else to fix you. You really have to fix yourself.
I agree. And it takes longer sometimes than we think. Our time frame is different than the universe's time frame for us. But if it's knowing what you want and keep affirming that to yourself, keep believing it, that it's going to happen, operating from the perspective that it already is happening, it will come. And then to me, that's when the magic starts to happen, because it just continues to go from there. And then it's branching off into ways that you had no idea that this is where you thought it was, that you would have thought that it would ever have gone. So it's just continuing to be open to that, and to keep saying, even on the days that you might not be having a good day, but to keep believing that. And that is that warrior spirit. And do you mind if I just tag in on that? Because that's kind of the whole
go right ahead. Yeah, great segue.
I started what's called Warriors in the Wild. And it's the integration of mindfulness, yoga within nature. And I knew I'd been wanting to give back. And I had probably, and Rita, it's been kind of part of my journey as I've been traveling with on this path of how I can start to give back to others through wellness and mindfulness. And some of like my passions, which are really with the writing and yoga and being outside. And then all of a sudden, it just started, it kind of came. I took one step and I didn't believe it. I got my yoga certification. I was like, I looked at, kind of back to how we even started. I was looking at the people that I was in classes with. I was looking at the teachers that my mentors, and they're like, I'm not good enough to be a yoga teacher. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not flexible enough. And then it was almost at this point that, because I evolved enough to where I was parallel. It's like, I'm not, but you know what? I think I am, and I'm going to just try it anyway. And so just that one step then started to lead me into with some other people. And now I've partnered with a girlfriend of mine, and this is our mission, and it's really about a warrior, but the everyday warrior, and that we give so much to everybody all the time that we forget to give to ourselves, or people feel that it's selfish to give to themselves. But that needs to be reframed, that it's imperative for you to take a moment, hopefully every day, but even once a week or once a month, to do something for yourself. So our Warriors in the Wild is we offer a monthly hiking yoga practice, which is all level, because we really want to give people, we want to be developing a sense of community, and about for giving people a moment to be it with themselves. And we always have a theme. We have it's thought provoking, maybe either quotes or readings, guided meditations that relate along that theme. There's always an art project to tap into our creativity. And also then we actually walk. We integrate the hiking and within the yoga, or kind of marry the two rather, and really focusing on the breath, because that is truly what the heart of yoga is about, that breath and that mindfulness, and how we can regulate ourselves and change ourselves through that breath. So we incorporate breath, some stretching. It's really more about relaxing. And then at the end, we do have some breaking bread, where, a sense of that community. We do hike in silence. We ask to maintain that, just so people can be, give them a chance to be turned inward. I know myself, being quiet was probably one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn. I couldn't really be quiet maybe for more than 2 minutes. And then now I can do, 90 minutes even by myself, where I can start to become very quiet, and how much that can change and energize me or calm me in different ways. So that's really what we're hoping to be giving other people, is these everyday warriors this chance to be able to do it. And I'm shocked, I'm blessed, I'm honored, I'm humbled that it's being received. Like, I feel.
Well, I think you should pause for just a second right there. And yes, I always feel humbled. I get in everybody, that that people respect and trust me enough that they'll let me kind of guide them towards, a healthier way of being. And right now is a time when we're going through a lot of turmoil, and we're going to be going through turmoil for the next 4 years. And it's almost as if every one of us who can needs to step up in order to help people through this time. So it's not even that it's accepted or received. It is critical that we start putting programs like that. We start putting more communities, more healthy relationships, more 7-day challenges like this, where we kind of, get this momentum going as a larger world community to heal and get through this with as little violence or pain or suffering as we can for the whole. Because if one of us suffers, all of us suffers. During this time, child abuse has gone up, domestic violence has gone up, all sorts of things have happened because we're so out of sorts. And so we have to not only be thinking of who's right, who's wrong, whose fault it is, it's not my fault. We have to be getting past that and thinking, what is the sincere greatest good for everyone involved? And it's not that you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. There's a third and a fourth and a fifth evolution answer that we haven't seen because we're trapped, spinning, stressed out and distracted and overwhelmed and emotional, that we don't even have the capacity to come up with a solution that serves everyone to the greatest good. So really putting these things in place where we get back in touch with spirit, where we get reconnected, that's the only way we can find solutions that really work for our problems.
I agree. And giving back to others who have helped, paying it forward. We've now even, our December event was, the focus was on angels. And we were out, that's why we were out actually just scouting the trail now, and my partner and I. And last month when we were trailing it, it just came to us. You know, when you're quiet, it's amazing what you can hear. And all of a sudden, like, we should donate. We should, any money that we collect for, you know, the registration fee, we should donate it to someone. And there is where I live, there's an organization, wonderful organization called On Angels Wings, and they help, you know, they're an animal shelter. And so they're always placing homes, they're saving animals. And so from there, we ended up deciding that was what we were going to do. So we donated the money to an organization that definitely needed it. They're a local company organization. And then that became now an integral part of now what we're going to be doing from now on. So we said, not always, obviously, we can't do the entire fee. We'll do that in December, but now a portion of whatever we collect from our event will be donated to somebody. And that's who we feel is like this everyday warrior. And there's so many of them. And I think that we have learned from this current situation that we're in, how our definition of a warrior changes. And that we kind of take it on there. You know, we have these everyday warriors that we are giving tirelessly, we give selflessly, we give faithfully. And we have to really make sure that, one, we are taking care of ourselves, but also looking at people. And now, because we don't have our mouths and our smiles anymore, we're having eye contact and look at those people that we never maybe thought of before, and what they're doing and how they're going above and beyond. So now we have been able, now we're taking this of giving, which is also a big principle in yoga too, about giving back. So we're integrating that, but now it's also coming to where I love meeting people. My partner loves meeting people and seeing the beauty that each person brings. And we're going to be showcasing as we meet people, kind of like everyday warriors, just to continue to build this community. And it's evolving into something that we didn't know. It was taking that first step and saying, and I'm going to tell you, I got my yoga certification. I probably, if it wasn't for my partner, my girlfriend, I don't know if I would have been doing it. She's like, come here, let's go. You can come and co-teach a class with me. I'm like, no, I can't do it. Then next thing you know, now here it is, a couple months later in October, we're doing this business and the service for people. We are both just honored and shocked at how well received it's being by people and the positive comments that we're getting, because as you had mentioned before, people are looking for some of this. They're looking for a way to connect. They're looking for a way to how to deal with with the stress that's happening in our lives. One big aspect of it's the warrior theme, but we also have a tangible, because we have a warrior stick. So anytime somebody joins our tribe for the first time, they're given a stick. And then the sticks are always brought to any event. And after each event, we give like a talisman to attach on that was related to the theme. But in addition, you decorate it with things that are meaningful to you, whether it's from people that have touched your lives, people who have moved on from our lives right now, goals that you want. So it's almost like a living vision board in some sense. I had somebody recently just send me a picture, and she hung her warrior stick up above, like, I don't know, like the header, and between her living room and going out to her hallway. I was like, oh, like it touched you. And she said, this is a reminder to me that it's okay for me to take a moment for myself. It's okay. It's not even okay. It's important for me to do that. It's necessary for me to do that. So I have been blessed to have had so many people who have helped me through the years. And now if I can start to help to give somebody else, to just give them that 5 minutes to take a break, to help to de-stress, decompress, then I'm very grateful for that.
Well, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Right. Is there something specific or something you'd love the women to know?
Know you're worth it, and know that you deserve to take that moment. It's not selfish. It is, find something that you like, something that you've always wanted to do, and 2 minutes can start to change your life and your perspective. And when you're feeling good, that comes out and that radiates and touches others. And I think that I think you're a warrior, and I think that you are amazing.
I think everybody's a warrior too, because it's that yin and yang, that feminine and that masculine. So everybody, Kimberly is doing, all the speakers are offering something to encourage women to engage and say hi to each other and support each other and be nice to each other and be compassionate and flexible and friendly. And is there anything you might be able to throw into the mix?
I can offer a journal just for some reflection. And if anyone is local, I'm in Illinois, near Rita. You would love to offer either our January event that is coming up on the 24th, and we are going to be having a half-day retreat now in February.
Oh, very,
so
very cool.
Do a registration, but anyone is local and is interested in attending, we would welcome you to the tribe.
Right. And where, you're in the Chicagoland area, right?
Chicago, at northwest suburbs, more pretty far north, McHenry area. I'm really blessed where I live is a lot of nature preserves. So right now we've been really just using a lot of the resources that are available.
Right. And there's a lot of beautiful parks out here.
Event is going to be at a place called the Hollows in Crystal Lake. So if anyone is nearby,
one of my favorite parks.
It's a great, and I think that it's so neat too that we can sometimes be walking in our lives over and over again. I go to the Hollows all the time, and I ended up finding an area that I never even saw before. So January, we're going to be working on intentions and about really how, even though we can walk the same path, we can change our perspective, and that can open our eyes in so many ways. And so that's amazing to me. So that's going to be our January event. We'll be there. They're typically about 2 hours. And again, it covers those 3 pieces. You got to dress warm, obviously, but it is invigorating still to be outside, even in January and February. The retreat's indoors. But Norgie Ski Jump is a ski club that is in Fox River Grove. And that's where we're going to be having our February retreat, which will be talking about focusing on self-love. So,
very cool. Very cool.
We have, we're in the infancy stages. We're still developing the website, but we are on Facebook. It's Warriors in the Wild, and on Instagram, Warriors in the Wild too. So I'd love to check us out. And
yeah, if women have been commenting throughout the whole video, so if you could, go back and engage with them and say hi and share your links, and that would be fantastic.
Thank you. Rita, I love what you do, and I am so grateful that you let me be a part of it again. So
absolutely. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. And everybody else, we are done with our speakers for today until 8 o'clock tonight when I'm doing a healing circle. So you're welcome to join the healing circle if you want to, Kimberly.
Thank you.
It'll be in the group. And so it's just an hour-long self-care brainwave entrainment meditation where we give ourselves a chance to unhook all of those emotions and beliefs that came up during the day. Yesterday was a big day with family. A lot of stuff came up for people around family. And so a lot of clearing needed to happen. And then probably a lot of stuff came up today around spirit and everything going on. So it's important to have these habits and these practices in place so that you can deal and stay balanced. So we'll be doing that at 8 o'clock tonight. So great. I think that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
See you later. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.